video time study has 4 levels of information. The folder level, within it the study level, within the study the element level, and within the element the observation level. To perform a study, we use the video area where we can maneuver the video. We can go forward and stop, back and stop, one frame at a time as we click, or one frame back as we click. We can also control the speed of the video. We can go to 2 times, 4 times, and so forth, or slow motion, a quarter of the time, half the speed. We can also control the time units. We can use seconds, minutes, TMUs, hours, or hours, minutes, seconds. Let's use minutes, decimal minutes for this example. I will now create a new folder and rename it. Within the folder, I will create a new study. And rename the study. Within the study, I will create an element. And rename the element element 1. If I know what the element is, I can give it a name. But at this point, I don't know. Now what I will do, I will go and bring a video to study. And set the volume a little lower. At a regular speed, I find the beginning of the operation that I want to study by maneuvering it. Let's say it starts here. And now I will click on the From button. As you can see, the From button takes the time 0.062, which is the beginning. I will go to the next until it's finished. The element is finished. Let's assume this point and click on 2. The elapsed time at this point takes that time, and I can give it effort rating if I want. Let's say 110. And the level time will be 0.117. If I click on the blue button, it captures the time. And so on and so forth. I can continue. I can create new elements. And do a study on that element. Continue. As you can see, I'm ready to take the next element. Let's say the second element finished here, and I click on the 2. I get the time for the next element. And if it's a repetitive element, I can go back now to the first element. Let's assume that it repeats itself. I can study it. And click again on the 2. Click here. And you can see now I have 2 observations of the same element. We can see on the first element here, 2 observations rated at 110, and the average is 0.118, which is the average of 0.117 and 0.119. Now I'll take you to a study of the same thing that I did before, and you can see this is all broken down with the explanation, and all the information here you have 11 observations, but we actually have 12. One of them we selected to exclude. We can take any observation and exclude it. So if I click now on the N, it will exclude this observation. You can see this observation is excluded. Over here it tells us how many observations we need. So we need 39 here, and that means we need 29 more because we have 10 already. I can put this one back in, and you can see this is changed. With this kind of information we need 38. That means we need another 27 because we have 11. We can also, for every observation that we did, we can go and take a look where it started, where it finished, or we can just run it. If we want to run just this specific observation, we can stop it if we want. We can go to another observation, say here, and run it. It will run that observation. We can also exclude items from the study. Let's go to the study that we started before, and if we go here and we want to do element from this location, and we study the work, and let's assume that there was an interruption. A supervisor came and talked to the operator at this point. We stop, and then we can click on from. This is the red is excluded time, and then we continue until the interruption is finished. We stop at this point, and we'll click on the 2 and click on the arrow here and capture the time that has to be excluded. Then we can continue. Let's assume that there's another interruption at this point. We can say from, and until, let's assume this point, 2, and then we click on this. This will add the interruption to the old one. So now we have 0.157, and we continue the study until the end of the element. Let's assume at this point, which is when we click on 2. Now what we can see is that the total time for the element was 0.505. However, there was 0.157 time that we want to exclude. Therefore, the net time is 0.348. At 110 rating, it's 0.382, and we can capture this time by clicking, and it's added into here. Now we'll go back to the study that we looked at before. We have here a value added column. We can mark it yes or required, but no, but required. And it will calculate the percentage of value added. We can also put distance in, and it will tell us the total distance that this job has been moving. So we can, when we make changes, we can see